Smack talking raw, where the legends live and the rookies get schooled in law. This ain't just talk. This is smack talking raw. You ready, Pinky? Judge always Ron. Let's lay the smack down. Boom.
What up?
Smack Talking Raw. Welcome to another episode. I'm your boy Pinky, and we've got another special guest again coming back for week 2. Hanging in for Ron is our boy Robert. Robert, thank you for picking up the slack, hanging out. Ron, we miss you. Hopefully Ron will be back next week. He is getting better and better, so hopefully he'll be with us next week. Oh man, it is time for some Smack Talking Raw. We're going to break it down. We got a lot to talk about. Robert's going to lead the show, but I got to start the show, guys. I think it's well known. Pinky is in love with Stephanie Vaquer. I'm just in love, man. I can't help it. And I'm going to say, everybody's going to be like, yeah, because you love the devil's kiss. I'm an ass man. We all know it. My wife knows it. My friends know it. Most people know it. If you didn't know it, now you do.
There you go.
But
it's out in the world. It's public.
Devil's kiss, awesome. It's fun, right? It's fun. It doesn't do anything to the opponent. If you watch, they're just hitting their hands on the mat. There's no connection. They're perfectly safe, which is great. But the camera guys know the assignment, right? But I'm telling you, man, it is so much more than just that. My wife has been watching Raw with me lately. She's kind of she understands we are now watching wrestling on Mondays and Saturday mornings while we drink coffee. And sometimes Wednesday and Thursday mornings when I watch NXT, when I drink my coffee. And then weekends when there's PLEs. Right? Poor lady. But she noticed this time when Stephanie Vaquer comes out, her presence, her presentation is, oozing confidence. Her aura is just something different, man. And you can just see it. It lights up. And that's before you get to how great she is in the ring. Her wrestling is fantastic, which comes from her spending time in Mexico, spending time in Japan, and learning jiu-jitsu. She's actually very trained in jiu-jitsu as well. So it all comes across. She is fantastic. As we talk through the show, I will be waxing poetic about her, and I am hoping for some big things here at Night of Champions or Evolution. I need some more Stephanie Vaquer.
Love it. Pinky, I'll agree with you. It's been great watching her and some of the things that she's been doing. We talked about it last week. The women's side of wrestling right now is just completely stacked. It's way more entertaining than some of the men's right now. I'll be completely honest. I found the Money in the Bank match a couple weeks ago to be far more entertaining on the women's side than the men's.
Absolutely.
Men's had some funny moments, but the women are definitely owning WWE right now, and it's great.
I just think there's so many of the women are main eventers, and they're big players. Whereas then you can definitely separate certain guys to where they're main eventers, they're mid carders. Like you can separate. On the women's side, it's a lot harder to do that. Like Bayley right now is kind of a mid carder, and she's been a main eventer in the past. So Becky Lynch, main eventer. She's currently, Intercontinental title champion. That's kind of on the lower end of things, right? So I'm glad you got on the Stephanie bandwagon. I know our boy Cody is on the Stephanie bandwagon. Ron is as well, I believe. I believe Ron's on there. So he really likes Roxanne Perez, though, and we'll talk some more about her later. All right, take us away, Robert.
All right, well, Pinky, I know we had SmackDown on Friday last week, so I know we need to at least touch on that a little bit. So give me a rundown of SmackDown from here, and then let's talk about Monday. Give it to me.
Well, there was a big announcement yesterday about SmackDown. I don't know if you caught it.
I did not. What did we get?
They've made the decision to change it again. It has been a 3-hour show for the last couple months. It is now going back to 2 hours as of July 4th week, I believe it is.
Okay.
So,
and that's just every show going forward as of right now?
Yeah, every show going forward will be 2 hours instead of 3. Okay. Which isn't really about the right amount of time. Raw ends up being about 2 to 2.5. That's the right amount of time. Once you get to 3 hours, you've got a lot of filler.
Yeah.
It's tough.
It's like a full-length movie at that point. I mean, and 2.5 hours, I mean, in most cases, now I've been on our other show, I've talked about it, so I'm not going to get into it. But at some point you do lose that interest and you have that filler element, and that it's not always successful. You have your moments, but more often than not, the bad outweighs the good in that situation. And yeah, bringing it down to 2 hours will be nice.
And SmackDown's actually been pretty enjoyable the last couple of weeks as well. So they kind of did find a groove lately, but I think this will be good for them. I mean, overall, we had some elimination Night of Champions fatal 4-way matches that occurred on SmackDown. And the one that was just awesome was Alexa Bliss. Alexa Bliss getting the win was really a great moment. And she has been playing up this little thing with Rhea back and forth, and she just keeps doing this little wave of the hand with a little smile. It's awesome.
That breaks your heart, I know.
It does. Every time I see that look, I'm just like, oh. I love both Rhea and Alexa, so I think I'm excited to see if they can build that a little bit more and maybe do a big match at one of the big PLEs. That'll be a lot of fun. The big thing that really kind of came out, I liked Cena and Punk going at each other again. Those two guys, when they get on the mic, are really good. And then Ron Killing's coming in again and messing with Cena. Perfect. Got Cena all riled up. He turned his cap backwards and was yelling at Nick Aldis. That was really fun. That brought me back to Cena when he was Dr. Thugonomics. That had a lot of that vibe in that little segment. So that was really fun. And then with Ron coming in and messing with Cena, now they have a match tomorrow night on SmackDown. I'm hoping it's a really fun match, and I do hope, again, he messes with Cena some more. Like, that's the whole thing. He should be continually. It doesn't matter if he wins. He just needs to F with Cena. That's like the whole goal. F with Cena.
Get in that
mess with him,
baby.
Bring him back to the light.
Absolutely.
Bring him back to the light, some way, somehow. And again, knowing that Cena and Punk are going to get together at Night of Champions in Saudi Arabia, I'm still loving that. I'm digging that because CM Punk was very adamant he was never going to wrestle in Saudi Arabia. And now all of a sudden he's going to wrestle in Saudi Arabia. Something changed. Maybe some money. Who knows? But he will be heading over there. So we did have, I'm trying to see if I had some notes from SmackDown, if there was anything else important. Randy Orton won his match. Cody Rhodes won his match on Raw.
Let's go, Cody.
And so we've got the semifinals for Night of Champions set, so we'll talk about that. Raw was pretty good this week. Nothing earth shattering, nothing amazing. But seeing the Jey Uso, Rusev, Bronson Reed, and Sheamus match. Holy hell, that was a lot of beef in there.
I caught some of the highlights on that. I have tomorrow is usually the day that I catch up on wrestling. Just working from home on my breaks and things like that. So, just try to get some good content in because we cover a lot of things. So I gotta pick and choose my battles very carefully.
It's tough. It's tough, my friend. I totally understand.
Now, I did tune in just for a little bit there for the Gunther Goldberg talk down. So, Pinky, I know this is something that goes back for you quite a ways. So, give me your thoughts on that and what is WWE doing here, man?
So, here's something for you, Robert. Since I know you're still learning, and I promise we're gonna get together for your birthday, and I'm gonna give you an education in wrestling. Ooh. And so there's a wrestler's retirement tour, right? And it typically is you kind of hang it up as an everyday wrestler, and then you come back and you do these part-time things. Mankind did it. John Cena's doing a little bit more than the normal retirement tour. Mankind did it a couple times. Like he was like, I'm retiring, and then they brought him back. And then 2-3 years later, they brought him back. And then they brought him back. Goldberg's kind of done the same thing. Now, back in the day, when there was WCW and WWE, Goldberg was on WCW. And after he came out shortly after NWO, and NWO basically, that just changed the game. That was a game changer. That was the hottest thing out there. And then shortly after that, Goldberg hits the scene. And this dude is just a gigantic monster, ripped up, and he was fast as hell, and he would spear everyone. So like there's Braun Breaker's spears, which are fantastic. Might have to do a side-by-side of a Goldberg spear and a Braun Breaker spear and kind of see which one's best.
That'd be cool.
I think Braun Breaker's doing, like, they're letting him, really get that train rolling. Goldberg was literally, just 10 feet away from you, and he'd come and hit you. But he used to play football. He was a defensive lineman in football. So again, it made sense, right? For that to be his move. But it just destroyed folks. And it was just something like he did it with such aggressiveness that it looked so real. And then sometimes it was, because he's not the best technical wrestler. He would mess up. He would hurt people very often. He would hurt people. So Goldberg there's some people who love Goldberg. There's some people who hate Goldberg. It's very much, which is good, right? As a character,
right?
And as a wrestler, you want people to love you or hate you, right?
Absolutely.
And sometimes a little bit of both, because then people are talking about you, right? He's done this like last match thing a couple times, and they're always bad matches. They're always quick matches, and like the biggest one. This is just ridiculous. Brock Lesnar beats Undertaker at WrestleMania. Crushes John Cena. And then has a match with Goldberg, and Goldberg beats him in 2 minutes.
What? That's wild.
The Beast incarnate, Brock Lesnar. Goldberg beat him in 2 minutes.
Yeah, I don't buy
it. It's ridiculous.
I don't
ridiculous.
buy that for a minute.
So, I do have an affinity for Goldberg. I was a big WCW fan back in the day when Goldberg was there. Him spearing everyone was awesome. Just awesome. So I do have that fun. I remember that. I want no part of this. This makes no sense to me. I know supposedly this is his last match. And what happens is a lot of times these guys will sign what's called a Legends contract, and that's where they have like a couple matches on their contract, and they, within a few years they usually fulfill that contract. But they're still around. They show up here and there. You can, bring them in for a story. Now, Saturday night main event is in Georgia, in Atlanta. That's where Goldberg's from. So that kind of makes sense. But to me, we didn't need Gunther to have the championship belt and make this a title match. Because I think they're going to have Goldberg win. I don't think they can have Gunther smash him. Because then why is Goldberg doing this match if he's just going to get squashed?
Right.
Right? If he's going to be in the match, he's got to look good, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not a fan of this at all. I don't think this needed to be a title match. You could have kept Jay's belt on him for a little while longer. And then at some point had Gunther take it off of him again later. We didn't need to do that now just to set this match up. So I am not looking forward to this match. I'm really nervous they're going to let Goldberg win. And then that leads me to a couple things of, if Goldberg does win, it's his last match. Most of the time, you send a guy off with a win. He wins the title. He's
going to walk away with the title?
Right. He walking away with the title? So if he does win, the only thing I can think of is Seth Rollins will come out and cash in on him. And now Seth Rollins takes the belt.
There you go. That'd be a good story. I would enjoy that.
But I kind of like the idea of Seth Rollins being able to mess with everybody for a couple months. Will I cash in? Will I won't cash in? All of that. He hasn't really gotten a chance to do that yet. He did that the first Raw. Or did he show up on SmackDown? He showed up on SmackDown and did it as well. But other than that, I want to see that continue. I want to see him come out threaten. I want to see him run out to the ring like he's going to cash in, and he doesn't cash in. And that way that continues to build that, will he or won't he? When will he? Right? That's all good storytelling. But if Goldberg wins, the only thing you can do is take the belt from him, or you set up a, couple. We have some more elimination matches, leads up to a match at SummerSlam. Whoever wins there's 4 fatal 4-way. Whoever wins gets the belt. You could do that technically, because Goldberg would not come back. He's got one match. He looked pretty stiff. It looked like this is going to be his last match, I hope. So what are your thoughts when you saw this?
So I'll be completely honest. This is going to sound terrible, so please forgive me. My only real exposure to Goldberg is The Longest Yard with Adam Sandler. I know of him. I know he's a beast, but to be honest with you, again, I thought he was old when he did The Longest Yard. So now to see him come out and do this, I understand like he was in his mid-30s and things back then, and that was kind of like during his career and things, but I'm gonna sit here and watch this match and like, oh my god, are we gonna have to break out a walker by the end of this? Like, what's gonna happen here? Like, I just feel like it's not a necessary thing. I have no hype for it. I'm not excited. I'm like, can we just fast forward this and get to the next thing then? Like, this is gonna be stupid.
Well, and Gunther's such a beast. Like, are you telling me Gunther can't beat up a 58-year-old man? He would squash him.
Straight up. So I like I said, I'm not a fan of this match. I will watch it and I'm like, this is gonna be brutal to get through. It's probably gonna be the longest 5 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever it's gonna be.
It's
of my WWE life so far.
It'll be 5 minutes, Robert. Go ahead and bank on that. It'll be 5 minutes.
Solid. You know what? Let's get a timer as soon as that match starts. Beep. We'll see how long it goes. But yeah, I mean, I'm a big fan of Gunther since I started getting into WWE. I really just feel like this is a kind of a dumb throwaway match.
You like him because he's German.
He's Austrian, big difference. But yes, he's
That's
European.
close enough.
Whatever, big difference. But no, I just enjoy. I mean, he plays a villain very well. I mean, that's really what I've gotten to know him as. He plays the heel great. So I'm just excited to see where it goes from here, especially since they took the belt so quickly off of Jay. Which I mean, that's good and bad, but I don't understand why this match is happening. So ready to just get through it. Hopefully Seth Rollins cashes in and we move on.
Gunther is a guy who can work with anyone, and he normally does. He's like a magician. He does a really good job of making other guys look good.
Right.
He's able to work well with guys in the ring. So I think there's a potential of him making this work. But again, I do think Goldberg's going to win.
Solid.
Goldberg
No, I mean,
is
that's
going
the
to
only
win.
thing that's why that's why they bring him back. So we'll see what happens. All right. Any other thoughts on that there before we get into the next one? And I know this is gonna be painful for the both of us.
Oh man, this hurts so bad. Yeah, we're good with Gunther and Goldberg.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, as I tuned in and I had stopped tuning in, and all of a sudden I had a message from Pinky, with him just basically in text speak tears. He was done. His life flashed before his eyes. Liv Morgan came down with a very brutal injury. Almost, I don't want to say it was no contact because obviously that's what wrestling is, but it was a very basic situation. Just hit it just right, and you could see that shoulder dislocate. And I don't do medical. I don't do broken bone like that. That's a no from me. And so seeing that, I was like, I'm done. I can't watch this. Because it was instantaneous. And now she's out for the rest of the year, pretty much.
Yeah, I don't think
I mean, she's undergoing surgery. I mean, this isn't anything to really be making fun at. I mean, this is not a good situation, and this really impacts a lot of the women's storylines going forward without Liv being
so. I
here.
know, just a couple weeks ago we had the unfortunate Zoe Stark injury,
Yeah.
and Zoe Stark was going to start having the hard task of standing out. Zoe Stark had been kind of surrounded with some other characters that all got released from WWE.
Right.
So she was the only one remaining. So her job from here on out was going to be, how do I stand out? How do I make a name for myself? And in her first match since that happened, she tore her knee. Now that move was a lot more dangerous than what Liv did.
Yeah.
Liv was literally just bracing her fall, and
Yeah.
it like boom, gone. I think this does. I mean, anytime I see an injury like this, and I always, as a father, as a person who cares about other people's well-being, that just made me sad to see someone get hurt. Because, and this just goes to show you, every time a wrestler goes out there, they're putting their life on the line. They're putting their body on the line. They're putting their career on the line. Because they do a lot of stuff that the average person, if they went and did some of the things that the wrestlers do, would probably kill themselves. And these guys do it with precision. Oh, breaking news!
What?
Oh, you were making a noise.
I was just gonna say, like, kind of just stemming off of that. I mean, somebody would pretty much kill themselves. I mean, not to deviate from the women's topic here real quick, but I mean, that is what makes Logan Paul so amazing to watch, is because in this short time he is doing things that even some veteran wrestlers won't even do. And I mean, moonsaults and things like that. I mean, jumping from the moonsault onto the announcer's table. I mean, that takes precision. that takes spatial awareness, body awareness. Like that is, and for a lot of this that's happening, I mean, it can happen to anyone at any point in time.
Dude, he was
Unfortunately,
messed
it
up
happened to Liv.
after Money in the Bank.
Oh yeah, and I mean he's still not a Raw or SmackDown wrestler, so he's just pay-per-view only.
He's Raw.
I mean is he Raw?
No, he's on Raw.
Okay,
but
I must admit
he doesn't typically. He wrestles like sparingly on Raw. He shows up on Raw, but yeah, he mainly does the PLEs primarily. But he will have a match on Raw here and there. He's just not the every week fighting guy. So
right, and that's where like with this injury, I mean with it's tough to swallow. I mean, because again, just going back to what I mentioned earlier, is that it impacts a lot of the great storylines for the women that were being built and told right now. Where do we go from here, and how does this? What does the restructure look? I don't want to say rebrand because that was not.
Liv Morgan had literally 2 stories going that day.
Yeah,
she's got the Judgment Day impending blow up. Raquel, her and Roxanne. She's got that, and then she also had just started a thing with Nikki Bella. And Nikki Bella was actually in the arena and was supposed to come out during that match and mess up the match. Of course, it happened so quickly they didn't need her to come out. And now they've got to rethink. So this really changes a lot of things for Evolution. Because she's going to be a big player in Evolution. She was probably going to be a big player at SummerSlam, New Jersey being her hometown. So Liv being out is really going to change things because she's been that like character.
She's been the it girl.
She absolutely is. She, to me, and again, I love Stephanie Vaquer, like we talked about. Liv was my girl. She was number one. From an in-ring perspective, from an acting perspective, from a stories perspective, what you can do with Liv, she can do anything. She could go in and out. She could do any character. She could be babyface. She could be heel. She's one of the better heels in the game. Her whole attitude thing, like, it just, I'm so sad, man. I'm so sad. We probably won't see her again till Royal Rumble.
I would completely agree. And that, that was one of the many things that I started thinking about with her now being absent out of WWE for until next year, is this opens up a lot of interesting storytelling for the Dominic Mysterio side of it. Because what are they going to do for that storyline now? And that whole relationship and all of these other female talent that are coming around him. And they've already hinted at a few things, but I mean, it's a big impact. I mean, shoot, she just did a mock of Sabrina Carpenter's new album cover with her basically submitting to Dom in this case. And I mean, very cool. But again, now that you're left with a void, and it's actually the best way to describe it is it's a power vacuum now. Is there's going to be an up for grabs situation of, well, Dom's going to do this now while Liv's out, and then how do we bring her back into the fold? And then Liv was in the middle of these storylines with Nikki Bella, and then whatnot. It hurts, man. It really hurts, because that's one of the very few wrestlers that I, again, got to really enjoy and know and get to see these storylines evolve in the last year and a half, 2 years, since we got into this together, or since you got me into this with you. It sucks. Really sucks.
What? And that leaves Nikki Bella in the wind. She was going to have a match with Liv at Evolution. That's what was going to happen. I think it was going to be a tag team match, I believe. I think they were going to get either Nikki's sister or someone else to tag with her, and they were going to be a tag team match. What's Nikki Bella do now? We got to pivot. Who's she going to go up against?
The Io Sky deal, like, man, like, fractured storylines. It hurts because now I
know.
gotta start over. It's ground zero. gotta
Who?
really redo all this.
Now who's coming for Io Sky, right? Who we're gonna start pushing towards the championship? What are we gonna have Rhea do it, or now is Roxanne Perez gonna take Dom? Is he gonna fall in love with Roxanne Perez now and break up Liv Dom?
We'll see.
They've been such a great pairing. Those two characters are just played so well off of each other. It's going to be tough to see that end. So, RIP Liv. We'll see you next year at Royal Rumble. Hopefully, you'll be back and ready for a WrestleMania moment next year. You earned it, girl.
Yes.
You earned it.
So, switching gears here for just a little bit. So Pinky, there were some big NXT elimination matches this last week. I believe it was all the women stars had faced off, if I'm not mistaken. I've not really gotten into NXT, so this is just kind of the tidbits I get from you and then what I see online. So break it down for me.
So the NXT women's roster is just as good as the WWE women's roster. They've got so many great characters and athletes, and they're fantastic. So with Julia, Roxanne, and Stephanie Vaquer all getting called up at the same time, that kind of changed the dynamics of NXT. JC Jane, who's been in NXT for a while, beat Stephanie Vaquer, kind of got some help to beat her, took her title. The story they've created now is she's trying to hold on to the title, and all of the women on the main roster or on NXT's roster are coming for her. All of them. So they came up with, which is really fun, they had 4 separate singles matches. Winner moves on to a fatal 4-way that happens next Tuesday. And the winner of that will face JC Jane at Evolution. So they're getting a premiere match on Evolution.
Cool.
Which is really cool because that's going to showcase these ladies. So that all of them. The only one that wasn't, Sol Roca, is really awesome. She's got the North American title, so she wasn't part of this. She's really, really good. So she's really fun and interesting. But they had everybody, man. Jada Parker, she's pretty good. Kalani Jordan Grace. They had a couple new girls that were part of it. Really good, fun matches. Quick match. Most of the NXT matches are pretty quick. They don't have a lot of time. They've got to get these matches, and they put out there's a lot of content that goes into each episode of NXT, so these matches can't be very long. But they did that, and I just like the idea that they're putting this together for Evolution.
Cool.
Which will showcase the younger women on the big PLE. So I think that's really cool.
Good deal. Looking forward to that. We'll definitely need to get together for when that happens and get some good rundown.
And that comes back to one of the women that's now on NXT, Blake Monroe.
Oh man, runs deep for you, buddy.
Bro,
you're gonna have some decisions to make. You got to pick your loyalties.
Oh man. Well, hopefully they just stay. Hopefully they all stay on. Like Liv and Stephanie were on Raw, and then Alexa's on SmackDown, Julia's on SmackDown. If they put, if they bring Blake Monroe up, Tiffany's on SmackDown. They put Blake Monroe over. I'll take Blake Monroe over Tiffy, hands down. She's just gorgeous, and she's just got that it, man. She's now again. The wrestling's got to match up.
Absolutely.
When you come in, you're the glamour. You're talking about how glamorous you are, how great you are. Glamorous. You're getting the spotlight on you. That only lasts so long. Then you got to back it up in the ring.
Right.
So,
which to since we brought Tiffy up on that, that's one of the few things that I've loved seeing with her evolution is she's been backing up a lot of things. She's definitely been improving a lot. So who knows? I may eventually pivot and be a Blake Monroe guy, but until I see it in the ring more often, because again, I'm not an NXT guy, so we'll get there. But Tiffy's still my queen,
and she's copying a lot of Marilyn Monroe styles, right? Because that's where she got half of the name. I had a super crush on Marilyn Monroe, even though she was dead before I was even born.
I mean, she's still hot. Like that's just, and I mean, not to go too far off topic here, but I mean, Ana de Armas is, I mean, I never watched the movie. I didn't need to see the movie. She just portrayed Marilyn. I mean, that was just beautiful. But
she
anyway,
was gorgeous.
So yeah, Blake Monroe. I know when we last week had gotten together, you had shown me a couple of pieces of her from rap matches. So I'm excited. I won't deny that. I mean, again, the women's talent is far superior than what the men's is giving right now. Actually, this is probably one of the best examples that I could bring up. Is that the women are definitely the young bloods. They've got a lot of showcasing and they're doing a lot of great things. Then you watch the men and you're like, old dogs, man.
So
there's just an old dogs. They're kind of stuck in this. They're stuck in the glory days, but they're not getting any good rookies coming out. So it's that fighting back and forth of like, we got to continue these glory days, man. And then like it's with The Rock coming in to be the quote unquote final boss. Like, dude, you're not even doing any wrestling right now. You're not a final boss. You're just a showboat. Like, there's nothing there that is making anything on the men's side entertaining when you've got all of this great talent that you're about to see at Evolution. Blake Monroe coming over to WWE. I mean, these are all amazing things that are happening that, again, going back to that power vacuum comment, are opening up a lot of doors for the women's to just be a superior wrestling story at the moment.
Yeah, so I mean, for the guys, it's Obafemi. That dude's just a powerhouse. Trick Williams, Javon Evans. Javon Evans is amazing, and then Ethan Page. Those four dudes, like those are the dudes. And the women, there's just so many of them. There's just so many of them.
Countless, man. I'm having a hard time keeping track.
They just keep coming.
So yeah, good stuff there. I mean, again, a lot of good, exciting things coming. Which leads us into our next topic here, probably something that we'll be on for just probably the remainder of the chat time. We got the Night of Champions coming, which is a big weekend. And Pinky, I am gonna preface this first with an apology, but it's gonna be a soft apology. It's not all of that sincere. I will be seeing Superman on Friday the 11th. That is a non-negotiable. It is my birthday week, so that is happening.
Well, that's good because Night of Champions is the 28th of June.
Well, there's that, and then there's the event on the 11th that we've been talking about too. What is that?
I guess it's on the 12th. It's on the 12th and 13th.
Okay, so
Friday is the 11th. These things are on the 12th and 13th.
All right, so I'm getting ahead of myself there. I thought it was Night of Champions. I'm sorry, I got them confused. So let's talk Night of Champions, and then we'll get into the July PLE.
Night of Champions is in between Metallica for me. But cool thing about Night of Champions is it's on at like noon. Man. Night of Champions is on at like noon because it's in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah,
so it's cool. We get together, we hang out, have a couple beers, and then we got the rest of the day. Oh.
Well, good. You're going to be recovering on Friday night, being at the first Metallica concert. So a noon show will be like, oh, hey, Pinky's waking up out of his hibernation from the last night, and now we're going to do this, and then get ready for the next night.
I'm up at 6 every day, regardless of what happens the night before. So it is what it is.
Me. I mean, I'm not going Friday, so I mean, I'll be fine. But
Night of Champions will be fun. John Cena and CM Punk is the headliner, right? They say this is the last time they're going to get together. which then makes me wonder, like, well, who's gonna face Cena for the rest of the year? He's still got a couple more things happening down the road.
12 more dates.
He's got like 17, I believe.
17. Okay. So
what I would expect is we're gonna see less of him on Raw and SmackDown. As we kind of move forward, we'll see a little bit less of him on those days, and he'll still be at the PLEs. So
understood.
But that'll be next weekend. Should be a lot of fun. I really wish they still did. So this is the King of the Ring and the Queen of the Ring tournament, and that's what happened. That's the culmination is at Night of Champions now. That's what they call it. It used to just be called King of the Ring. Now in the past, King of the Ring was fantastic because it was literally, if you were in the finals, you've already had 3 matches that night. It's crazy.
Wild.
It's crazy.
Speaking of injuries, damn. That is prime time.
So a couple years ago, it's been a while, but they've kind of made the decision, like, we can't put our athletes through that. So they kind of split it up into you have these 4-way elimination matches, and it kind of weeds it down until you get to the finals. And the finals is at Night of Champions. But in the past, when it was all on one night, it was awesome. Cool. So good. So this should be fun. We've still got the semifinals are happening. There's 2 matches tomorrow. I believe we've got Sami Zayn and Randy Orton tomorrow.
RKO out of nowhere.
God. Does Randy lose?
Sammy's been getting beat up this year. I think Sami does win this. Now you would know better than me. Your predictions have been almost on par so far these last several events, but I like Sami. He's fun. Now of course I do appreciate the nerd side of Randy. He plays a lot of video games that I'm into. So it's always fun getting to hear his interviews talking about that. But I will have to say that I'm going to be pulling for a Sami win on this one. I'll be honest. I think it'd be good for him. Be good for his brand.
I like Sami quite a bit. I feel like Randy's got to win. He's been kind of losing lately. He lost to Cena. He beat Joe Hendry at WrestleMania, but that was just a quick squash match. Like, Randy kind of needs this win. I feel like Randy should win. That's my feeling. Sami's been putting in good work. I could absolutely see him deserving it. I know at some point they're gonna put one of the titles on Sami. He has not won the World Heavyweight title or the Universal Undisputed title. So I feel like they're gonna put that on him at some point in his career to give him that, like, because he's done so much. Right. Him and Kevin Owens have done a whole lot. So I just feel like he's kind of due to have that happen. But is this when it happens, right? So I do think Randy will win. And then we have Asuka versus Alexa Bliss. I like Asuka a lot. But she seems slow and not quite.
She's the one with the crazy face paint, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's really, really good. Before her injury, she was really, really good. She just looked a step slow, which could just be ring rust, right? Getting back in there, getting in the flow of things. When you're in a fatal 4-way, maybe that's a little bit harder versus a singles match where you're just focusing on one opponent. So I'll give her a little bit of grace, but she just didn't look quite right yet. I still want to see Alexa Bliss get back to the championship picture. So I'm kind of rooting. Yeah, I mean, Alexa Bliss, Charlotte Flair, and Asuka are all in the same spot right now. They're former main eventers. they're former main eventers, they're former champions that are kind of grinding their way back up to the top.
Grinding is an understatement, I would say.
So that's funny. That's funny.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I mean, it really is like it's more than a grind right now. They are really having to work for a lot of things, and I mean, when Charlotte Flair, when she came out, what was it? What, a month or two ago?
She came back at Royal Rumble.
Yeah, I just wasn't feeling it. I really wasn't. Kind of boring.
I feel like you're definitely a Charlotte guy or you're not. Like there's no in between. You're not typically indifferent to Charlotte. You either hate her or you love her.
Not a fan. Not a fan.
I really like Charlotte. I like her character. I like her legacy. I like her in-ring ability. But and I like the fact that she's been losing. I like that they didn't let her just take the strap right back from Tiffany Stratton.
Don't take it from my
that
queen.
was a good move. Oh, that belt's coming off her soon, bro. It's coming.
I know.
It's coming.
I've accepted the inevitable already, Pinky, but I'm gonna relish it while I still got it. Okay.
Because Naomi's coming to get that thing. Don't worry.
She
She's going to take that, and I think that's going to set up a match here. So I think Alexa Bliss wins. I think they let Asuka win the comeback match because you can't. It's hard to have somebody come back and get all excited about her coming back and then having her lose. So that's where I think Asuka can lose to Alexa because she won the first match back. I think that's what'll happen. I think Alexa's gotten better and better every week, and she's in full control of her character right now. And every time she gives a look, she went and messed with Charlotte a little bit. She's been messing with Rhea lately. She's deep in her character right now, and I'm in it. I am in it. And then on Monday Night Raw, we get a special Cody Rhodes match because Cody is normally on SmackDown. He will be on Raw facing Jey Uso.
Cody. I love Cody.
I think it's two baby faces facing off against each other. Somebody's got to win. Cody's got to win. Cody's got to win.
I mean,
you got to get Cody back into the title picture.
Yeah.
You got to get Cody back into the title picture. Cody versus Cena at SummerSlam is probably the biggest match for Cena. The best way for Cody to do that is to win King of the Ring. So I feel like that's what's going to have to happen. And then we've got Jade Cargill versus Roxanne. Who wins this one, Robert?
I really don't want to say this, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be Jade. I really do.
They've been pushing Roxanne pretty hard. But they're pushing Jade just as hard.
And that's my problem. And I think with where the other storylines are going, Jade does end up on top. I really believe that. I mean, Jade's also been a beast recently. I mean, like you said, they've been really promoting the both of them, and really pushing that, that's those stories. But I just think it's gonna be Jade. I just can't see that turnaround.
So either,
and I mean, Jade's an Amazonian, like
she really
buff.
is.
Like
I feel like we need to the train is moving, and we're gonna be moving to a Jade, Bianca, Naomi triple threat match at SummerSlam. That's what I see happening. How we get there, I'm not quite sure. I do think Naomi takes the belt from Tiffany. That sets up an easy Jade Naomi match. You could do that at Evolution. and then you could come back. Well, I think if Jade wins the whole thing, which I think she will, she gets a title match at SummerSlam.
Okay.
So that would be easy for if she wins, then she'd have the match against, most likely Naomi.
Right. And I think that'll if that does happen, that'll be a fantastic match. And I mean, we talked about it a little bit last night when we were together, and just the sizing of everyone. So again, I just think off of and I know that's not a good like measuring factor for who's gonna win, who's gonna lose, because I mean you always have that. It's WWE, like anything can happen, right? But I mean, I just think that yes, Roxanne Perez is getting a lot of spotlight. I also think that is with now Liv out of the picture, that's gonna open up a different spot for her, and getting into that triple threat going against with Naomi. That's why I think Jade has to come out on top here. I really just only see that being the case to make SummerSlam that, I don't want to say echelon, but like that next level.
Well, you remember SummerSlam's 2 nights now.
I know.
They have to fill up 2 nights. So they've got to put some good matches and good stories together within the next month and a half.
They really got to do some good reworking and good, like, we got to boom, 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 knock these out and get these hyped, because now we've lost one of basically our, I don't want to say that our main face, but one of our main storylines right now that had gravity. It had momentum. It had weight. We were all excited to say, what's Liv going to do next week? What's she going to do here at the next PLE? Like, where are we going? Now this whole thing is opened up for everybody.
You know what, like, really did it is she was on such a streak, and then she took like that month off to go film that movie. And while she was gone, you could feel the emptiness of her being gone.
Oh,
you
absolutely.
Could just feel it.
It's a total game changer. I mean,
don't worry, Stephanie Vaquer is going to fill that void. Hey, although
whatever helps you sleep at night, Pinky.
Her stories right now aren't like, they're not going to have her battle on the mic too much. She's still working out her English. Her English is not bad. She keeps saying her English is bad, and I'm like, your English is pretty good. But I think it still takes her a time to say what she wants to say in a confident manner when she's talking English.
I can agree, and I know that feeling very well, and it sucks.
Oh, we'll see if we can fill that void. But we've got, Jade. I think Jade will win Night of Champion, Queen of the Ring. I think I think Cody is going to win King of the Ring.
Cody's going to win for sure.
That will happen
for sure.
And then, what you had kind of started to talk about is the following after July 4th. It's a gigantic weekend of wrestling. Because you got NXT Great American Bash will be midday. We've got the Saturday night main event at night in Atlanta. And then on Sunday is the Evolution PLE. I'm excited for the Evolution PLE.
I'm excited too.
It started back in 2018. That was the first one. It was all women. And so it's been a while since they've done it. The women's division from the main roster down to NXT is so stacked. They can put together so many amazing matches with amazing women telling great stories that I can't wait to see what matchups they put together for it. I'm stoked for it, man.
Like I said, I will not be watching anything Friday. I am off already for my birthday. I am leaving early on Friday to start my birthday weekend, because I will never celebrate before my actual birthday. That's bad luck. That's a whole German thing. I've grown very accustomed to it. So I'll be watching Superman. And then yes, Pinky on Saturday. As long as my family hasn't planned anything that I don't know about, I'll be in my apartment. We can
or
be
at least
watching.
Sunday. They're probably going to plan something for you Saturday.
We'll see.
They kind of like you, Robert.
They do.
Your family
I'm
kind of
very
likes you.
blessed.
So.
I'm very blessed. But no,
So we could
like I
get
said,
together Sunday.
I'll be in my new place. We'll be able to get it going. We'll have some good cocktails. Get some good wrestling in.
Oh, dude,
We can
go hit the pool beforehand. Let's do it. All
Yeah,
right.
bro.
We'll get our boy. Hopefully, our boy Ron will be healthier.
Get him all ready to go. Yeah, for sure.
All right. I don't even know where to go, man.
I mean that was all I had to go over with you here. So I think, I mean, really, just give me your final thoughts here for the weekend. What's going to be happening upcoming and for SmackDown and then Monday.
Hopefully, these remaining matches are good matches. And that way it leads into the Night of Champions in a good way. We have those moments of, wow, Raw was really good this week, or SmackDown was really good this week. So hopefully we'll get that. I'm going to throw a shout out. I need some more of my boy Penta. Let's go. Cero, man, I need my man.
I'm going to just say this one time and I'm going to shut my mouth for the rest of it. I would love to see him do a spin-off, like Darth Maul, like Sith thing for an evening. Like if they do a Star Wars night or whatever, like do like a May the 4th event, or like Penta coming out in like a whole Sith deal would be awesome. I've been dreaming about this. Like I've been like, oh man, like could you imagine? Like
let's get into his DMs. Get into his DMs and give him the idea. Come on, Penta, we need to make this happen.
We need a Star Wars moment, sir.
We need to make this happen, Penta.
Could you like his mask with the Sith eyes and oh man, like that would be sick.
I can get behind that. All right, well, we're gonna end the show. Thank you guys all. Like, comment, subscribe, hit us up on Facebook, hit me up on Twitter, TikTok. We just like having fun. Let's all pray for my boy Ron. Hopefully he continues getting healthy. Hopefully he'll be back next week to have some fun. And we're out.
See ya.